What's up with it, everybody? This is Stalley, Blue Collar Gang, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
The money that was made couldn't be scared money. I had no one to put up the bread for me.
All right, so we got the one and only Stalley jumping off the porch with us today. Welcome,
man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Like we were just talking off camera.
Yeah.
Long overdue
Long
for this,
overdue.
man. But perfect timing, I
Yes,
always say, man.
Always.
Yeah, man. So first off, how we feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Can't complain. You know what I'm saying? Just excited to be here. Excited to, you know what I mean, talk to the people.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything else planned while you're here in Atlanta, or what else
Just
you got
recording,
going?
you know what I mean? Right now it's Ramadan, so I've been kind of like just, you know, like not dealing with, but just, you know, doing my thing and trying to stay focused with that. But in the meantime, or just, you know, whenever it's time to break fast, I just try to get some work in, you know what I'm saying? And this is, you know, an exception. I had to come jump off the porch with y'all, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Nah, I appreciate that too, man.
Keeping energy high, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, so we got a lot to dive into.
Yeah, a lot.
So, you know, let's take it all the way back to Ohio.
Okay.
Correct me if I mispronounce, man. Massillon?
Yeah, you said it. Massillon, yeah.
Massillon, Ohio.
Massillon, yes, Massillon, Ohio.
Okay.
Yes.
So I don't know nothing about this city, man. Can you fill us in on, like, you know, the way of life, the culture up there? Like, what be going on?
Man, you know, Massillon is it's a unique place. You know what I'm saying? It birthed a unique individual. You know what I'm saying? But Massillon is roughly about, I would say, 30,000 people populated. It might be less or more now, but when I was there, it was around 30,000. It's very heavy in high school sports, mainly high school football. Shout out to the Tigers. They just won the Gatorade National Championship this year.
National championship?
Yeah, and they won the Ohio State Championship too. I believe they got ranked the Gatorade Team of the Year or won the Gatorade National. Correct me if I'm wrong out there, but I believe that's what it was. But we for sure won the state championship this year, so that's amazing. I think that makes like 23 state championships that the high school has had. Very dope, you know what I'm saying? So it's birthed a lot of professional athletes. You know, Chris Spillman was one of the first high school athletes to ever be on the Wheaties box. He's from Massillon, Ohio. You know, Stalley's from Massillon, Ohio. You know, Trippie Redd has roots from Massillon, Ohio. And there's, you know, Devin Smith and, you know, guys that's in the NFL or played in the NFL also, you know, just to name a few. But man, it's a dope place, very blue collar, you know, hence Blue Collar Gang, you know what I'm saying? Very blue collar, steel mills, railroads, factories. It's just built on the grit, the handwork of the people, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's very prideful, you know what I mean? And that's why I try to carry that on to the music and carry that on in life and just kind of give the world a glimpse into Ohio. I put out Lincoln Way Nights, you know, that's a street in Ohio that everybody kind of just hung out on, cruised up and down in their cars, played music, you know, chased after girls, whatever, you know, doing what you do as a young adult. So it's a dope place, man, and you know, very, you know, proud to be from there for sure.
I got you. And going back to the sports aspect, I understand you got to play against LeBron James in high school?
Yeah, you know, I Massillon, you know, high school. We
pretty
played,
close to
it's
Akron.
close to Akron. It's about 30 minutes or so. So we got to play Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's when LeBron was, I believe, a freshman and a sophomore. After that, they went national because, you know, he's LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, the greatest player on this earth to me, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. But yeah, you know, we got to play. They killed us, you know what I'm saying?
Did he? I can't remember. He always had a buzz though, right?
Oh
like
yeah,
even his freshman, sophomore
fresh
year?
off. You know, I always tell a unique story. Is I remember we was going up to play them at St. V's, and our coach was on the bus, or maybe it was in the bleachers before the game, and he was telling us, like, at the time, Bob Knight was coaching. No, I'm lying. Bob Huggins was coaching Cincinnati at the time, and this is when they were like ranked first in the or they was ranked #1 in the country. And I remember my coach was saying something like, "Yeah, Bob Huggins said LeBron as a freshman he would put him on the team and he would start." And I'm like, a freshman would start on the, best college team in the country, you know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, we're going to see. But, yeah, he was everything is advertised, you know what I mean? Like, and more, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him and shout out to Akron, you know what I mean? Also the 330. So, yeah, love.
Yeah, he's one of the few athletes that lived up to that hype. You know what I'm saying?
Like, and exceeded, by miles and miles. And it's dope to see because, I got to share the court with him for a little bit, you know what I'm saying, as teenagers or as young adults. Yeah. And to see him now, you know what I'm saying, like, man, it's amazing, you know what I mean? And it's a proud moment. Again, us being from Ohio, we're very proud of our own and proud of, every area, every city that there is. So just to see somebody and know where he's come from and the area that he come from to doing what he's doing now is dope. And everybody around him too, from Mav to Rich, all his team, you know what I mean?
He put everyone in position.
Exactly, he put them all in position. And it's just very honorable. So shout out to all of them for sure.
And you had mentioned Trippie Redd earlier.
Yeah.
And it's my understanding you babysat him?
Yeah, well, I'm going to clear that up. I ain't really babysit, you know what I'm saying? But, we looked after him, you know what I'm saying? Because it's funny because one of my homies, my man Twan, he was like a best friend of mine growing up, and we lived in the same projects together. And he lived next door to Trippie's grandmother. So we knew Trippie's uncle, his father, and all those. And when Trippie was outside and running around, we just made sure that he was good, made sure he wasn't in the street, you know what I'm saying, or doing crazy. But yeah, man, just looking after him. My man's, who was my best friend at the time, his sister used to really, kind of watch after Trippie too, and make sure, that everything was straight. So yeah, just to see him, you know what I'm saying, become who he is amazing as well, man. Like, Trippie is very talented, you know what I'm saying, and he's just a good person, you know what I'm saying, and yeah, he deserves everything he's getting too.
Yeah, and y'all worked on some records together
Yeah,
too,
we
right?
worked on some records together out in LA, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope to actually build with him after both of us have become who we have become, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of share the studio and create, that's also amazing as well. Yeah. And it's, probably it's some years that separate us, but it's just dope to see that we can still, like, we just still kind of in that same, like, line of creativity, you know what I mean? You can tell that we cut from Massillon or we cut from that area, you know what I'm saying? That Massillon, Canton, Akron, that, that Northeast Ohio area. Yeah. It shows in the music for sure.
Okay. So what had inspired you to start creating and making music at first? Do you remember?
Man, I think I've always been around music growing up. I've had aunts and uncles who, played in bands and performed. I've also had, my mom was someone who played music heavy in the house. So music was just always something that I woke up to, I went to sleep to. For a long time, I couldn't even go to sleep without the radio being on. I had to have that noise to kind of like lullaby me to sleep. So music has always been there, but it wasn't, and then I say in middle school, I started writing in a notepad, like just raps, poetry. It wasn't no form, it was just kind of getting my thoughts out. And then that translated into me getting in the studio with some guys who were like locally making beats and having home studios, and they got me in the studio to, and I fell in love with it from there. And then I remember I used to watch music videos always, like 106 & Park and Rap City, everything. So a Nas video came on, I think it was It Ain't Hard to Tell. And when I seen that, I was like, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I remember going up to a record store that I eventually started to work at as well, but I used to go there and get all my music, CDs and tapes and all that. That's when there was still tapes and CDs, so I'm aging myself a little bit, but there was still tapes and CDs. And I remember I went to go get, I wrote it down and I was like, I went to the counter, I'm like, yo, I just heard a dude, his name is Nas, he got a song called It Ain't Hard to Tell, like, do you have that instrumental? Do you have that single? And they was like, yo, actually, the album just dropped today, it was Illmatic. They was like, the album dropped, so I was like, well, give me the whole album. I was like, I want, and I took it home and I played it and I'm like, this dude is it, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of like, his voice was just so, not his actual voice, but just what he was speaking on and the pictures he was painting, even though it was, representing Queens and New York City, it was so aligned with kind of like the things that I seen growing up and the people that I was around. And I was just like, man, this is so dope to see a young artist kind of like just verbally like painting these pictures, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I want to tell my story, our story, this neighborhood story, this town story. And that's really, I think, what really pushed me to go to the next level or just try to see it as a career.
Yeah. And not a bad album because, you know, to be influenced by it's one of the greatest albums of all time.
To me,
here we are 30 plus years and we'd still talk about it.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So that was probably the moment where I was like, man, this is something that I could see myself doing.
Yeah. And at what point did you start releasing music, whether it was either online or printing up CDs for yourself?
It was like the MySpace era.
Oh,
like,
wow.
you know what I mean? So this was probably like 2004, 2005 is
Okay.
when I started to release music. Again, fast forward, I went to New York City and I went there to go to school and to, you know, try to pursue basketball and all that. It didn't work out. So I ended up staying in New York City. And I got with these kids that we used to hang out with in Soho and like kind of like from Soho to the Union Square area. And we used to skateboard. It was like me and a group of Japanese kids, like 30 of them, you know what I mean? And we would skateboard and one of them actually produced. And they used to know that they used to hear me rap, like kind of freestyle or whatever. So they were like, they encouraged me to get into the studio and rap over his beats. And once I did, I had a CD that we put together, like a little EP, 6 or 7 songs, and then that's when I really started to like kind of put myself on wax and release music and put it online. And MySpace was really the only place that I knew that I could put music online at the time.
Yeah, you used to be able to upload like 3 songs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You could put it on like the front page,
Yep.
right? And then you had like the close friends or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. What was one of the first songs that kind of gave you a buzz then?
Whoa. So man, it's when I do these interviews and I love it because we going back and starting kind of like the timeline. But bro, there's so much that I had going on. Like I was in a band with these kids called the Wax Machine. You know what I'm saying? They were like more like rock influenced but hip hop meshed. So you know, we had a song called Time Lapse that was really popular. We had a song, Give Them What They Want. You know, Give Them What They Want was probably like the first song when I would perform it around New York City, like people would go crazy. And they would actually know the hook and the lyric. And this wasn't like in streaming days. This was like literally you had to have the CD to probably hear this song, or you had to come to the show so much that you knew the song. So like Give Them What They Want was probably one of the biggest records that I had at the time.
Okay, and that was what, around 2006?
That was like 2005 still. 2005, 2006, yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then, you know, going a little bit further, maybe up to 2008, 2009, I had a song called The Autobiography.
Okay.
In Babylon. And those were like 2 of the probably bigger records that I had then.
Yeah, because that was like at the beginning of the blog era too.
Exactly. That was right when I was getting on the blogs, yeah.
Okay. Then the song Address, You and Currency. How does this song get created? Did y'all record this out in Jamaica too?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Man, it's an ill story because, you know, they were going out, Creative Control, Currency, and Dame Dash. Currency and Dame was working together and working on music, and then Creative Control, Ski Beats, was, a part of that whole collective of DD 172 as well. And I remember Dame was like, we going out to Jamaica, and he was like, he couldn't get me a flight or anything. He's like, but if you can make your way out there, like if you can find a ticket, you'll have a place to stay. So I remember me and my manager at the time, we put our heads together and was like, yo, what we gonna do? And my manager at the time was like, I think you really should go out there. It's a good opportunity. You should try to, get out there. So anyways, we paid our ticket to get out there. We actually recorded the song and shot the video in the same day.
Okay. And
then put it out like the next day. That's how fast we was moving. But that was the blog era.
Yeah.
That was also credit to Creative Control and DD 172 and those guys over there. It was kind of like a factory. It was like, yo, you made something, you recorded it, shoot the video, put it out. We don't sit on nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're gonna actually do the behind the scenes footage. We're gonna do, you know, a vlog, everything, and we're gonna put all those pieces of, you know, content out. And that was just ill, you know, to be a part of. So yeah, that's how Address came about though. I flew out to Jamaica, we recorded and shot the video on the same day, put it out the next day. It took off.
Was that your first time going to Jamaica?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that was my first time in Jamaica. Enjoyed it. It was nice, you know what I mean? It was very peaceful, and I think my verse kind of explained kind of where my mindset was, you know what I mean? I just really was staring out the villa at the ocean miles long, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everything I was saying, it was really just what I was thinking or going through at that moment, so it was dope.
No, your verse was so vivid in it. It was
Thank
just
you.
like,
I literally was doing that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
that's why I was like, he had to have recorded this in Jamaica, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. And then the response from that record was crazy too.
Crazy.
Every
Like,
blog picked that up.
Every blog, and like the video went crazy. It was like all over like MTV. I think it even made like 106 and Park. You know, that was a big deal at the time because again, there was blogs, but it wasn't like how it is now with social media and things like that. So to see it take life like that was incredible. Like literally, like, cause we literally recorded the song, shot the video, put it out, and it took off. Like you said, it was picked up everywhere. So that actually, you know, was a piece that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to Currency, Ski Beats, you know, DD172, Creative Control, everybody who was a part of that record.
Yeah, you even kind of predicted it in your verse, like a 3-hour flight.
It can make your life change, yeah. And it really did, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so appreciative, like I said, of even my manager at the time for, you know, kind of seeing the vision and being like, yo, whatever, because we broke at this time, you know what I'm saying? Like dead broke, independent as independent can get. So, you know, to scrape up the money for a plane ticket to get out to Jamaica and for it to come that, man, you couldn't ask anymore.
Yeah,
like money well spent, you know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
And we got that money back tenfold.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes that's what it takes is invest in your last into something
Right.
as long as you believe in it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see the vision, just knowing, all right, this could actually work out.
Yeah,
too,
exactly. Yeah. So that's dope.
Did you and Currency have any prior relationship to that, or?
Yeah. So I mean, we always, you know, seen each other and hung out at the DD172,
Okay,
the space
gotcha.
that Dame had. So I would, you know, for probably months, weeks, we would see each other, you know, kind of almost every day. Like if he was in the city, if he was in New York.
Yeah.
I lived in New York at the time, so I was there every day. You know what I'm saying? Like just working or trying to work or just being around, soaking up the energy and getting that experience. Because mind you, you know, like I said before, it was just me kind of scribbling in my notepad, you know, writing in my notepad and figuring it out. So that's kind of a place where it helped me kind of hone my skills and kind of like figure out how to create records, you know, write songs, you know, and formats like with 16s and hooks and bridges or whatever. So it was kind of like, it was a 24-hour karate school, you know what I'm saying? It was a dojo, really. It was where you sharpened up your skills, so.
Yeah. And how did that connection with Dame Dash first come about then?
So I met Dame through, so again, me, Currency, Wiz, and I want to say Styles P had a show at, and Mickey Factz had a show at BB King's.
Okay.
And Mickey Factz actually took me over there after the show. He was like, yo, Dame has a new space. It's called DD172. He's like, I'm about to go see what it's all about. They invited me over. You should come. So I went over with Mickey. We went over there. We ended up like rapping and talking and rapping and talking, you know what I mean, for hours through the night after the show. And then Dame extended it. He was like, yo, y'all some cool dudes. I love what y'all got going on. I love what you guys you're trying to do with your careers. And, you know, I see your vision. So this is a space for creatives. The doors is always open to you. I took it literally. I was there for every day.
That's an open
after that.
invitation. I'm there,
Yeah,
right?
Like literally every day after that, I showed up. And whether I was working on music, whether I was just sitting there kind of like with Ski as he was making beats or producing, whatever, I was just there kind of just being a student.
Yeah. And you and Dame, did y'all ever talk about like going into business together?
No.
Okay.
Let's clear that up.
Okay.
Yeah, we never. But you know, he offered the space. He was like, you know, you can come and work out of it. Mainly when I was there, I was around Ski and Creative Control, Cootie and Chike and those guys. Just kind of just building and figuring myself out as an artist. Creating music and shooting videos. I shot my first music video there, you know, the
Really?
autobiography with a guy named Michael Sterling, who was there working out of that space as well. Shout out to him. We actually went walking around the blocks of D172 and just shot the video, put that out, and you know, it did amazing. So yeah, but you know, shout out to Dame for allowing a young, hungry, independent artist, you know, that space and that creative, you know, that creative vibe to be able to kind of like just create and be a part of.
Yeah. So what's your reaction when this recent interview he does, you know, comes out where he's kind of saying like you went behind his back to take a deal and stuff like that? Like he basically saying he was disappointed.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I disappointed you, Dame, but there was never any talks of, you know, paperwork or contracts or anything like that when it comes to just being, to moving forward on anything contractual. So that I was confused as well, you know, where, you know, he was bringing up my name and saying that, because again, there was never no paperwork there, you know, and the funny thing is, I'm gonna be honest, is that I was probably the least involved in DD172, you know what I mean? Besides being there every day. I remember Dame doing interviews with Pitchfork or MTV or whatever and not even mentioning my name. And I'm there every day, you know what I'm saying? But he's mentioning people who might have came in there once or twice, you know what I'm saying? So for him to say that is kind of crazy, you know what I mean? And he was pronouncing my name wrong, you know what I'm saying?
That was the first thing that stuck out to me. It was like, it had me thinking like, damn, have I been pronouncing his name wrong this whole time?
Nah, that should show you we haven't done that much business, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you can't even pronounce my name right. I wouldn't do any business with anyone who can't pronounce my name right, you know what I'm saying? But again, shout out to him, shout out to Ski, Creative Control, Cootie and Chike, everybody that was involved. And you know, shout out to Currency and any artist that, you know, stepped in the door there, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a dope space. He had a dope vision. I will credit him for, I think that he revolutionized like the content, you know what I mean? He was like one of the first people I know that was putting vlogs together, keeping a cameraman with every artist, keeping a camera every event. Anything that was going on, there was recording, you know what I'm saying? And we were putting it out, no holding on to it. And you got to see a glimpse of, you know, the artist's life and what was going on and how it was building. So, you know, amazing. So shout out to him for that.
Gotcha, man. So let's move on to Lincoln Way Nights then, man.
Yeah.
So talk about just the inspiration for the song. I guess it was just literally just the inspiration from the actual street then, right?
Yeah, leaving DD172, you know what I mean? Because again, like I felt like I got everything out of it that I, you know, could. It was time for me to become an artist, become an individual, and to create my own sound. And Intelligent Trunk Music came from that. And Intelligent Trunk Music and Lincoln Way Nights came from me going home and kind of just sitting and looking and observing not only the people and the environment around me, but kind of like reflecting on how I grew up, how I was raised, what I seen, what I went through, what moved me, you know what I mean? And what I felt that the world needed to know about Massillon, Ohio. And Lincoln Way Nights was some of the most memorable nights of my life, you know what I mean, growing up as a young adult, as a teenager, you know what I'm saying? I saw people fight, shootouts, I seen people fall in love, I seen people, you know, fix cars, I seen people, just anything you can think of on that strip, you know what I'm saying? And it went from Massillon to the following city, which is Canton. Okay. And Canton is where the Football Hall of Fame is. So people would literally just take that Lincoln Way all the way down to Tuscaroras, because that's what it would turn into, and kind of just U-turn and go right back, up and down all night. And any and everybody was out there, and it was just a blast, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody had so much fun. You got to see people's new cars. You got to see what people might have did. You know, people put light sets under cars. They put new systems in cars. They put new rims on cars, whatever. So it was like a car show every weekend. So I just wanted to bring that experience to the world. And with Lincoln Way Nights and Intelligent Trunk Music, I always felt like the most intimate place you can be is with somebody is in their car, you know what I mean? And I remember those trips and those journeys, whether it's going to get a bag of chips or take a 5-hour road trip. If somebody puts your music in, that's the most intimate place you can be with them. And that's what I wanted to create with Lincoln Way Nights, and I feel like that's exactly what I did.
No, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And how does Ross end up on the remix?
So Ross ended up on the remix because Ross reached out to me about, joining MMG. And when I did, he was like, yo, we got to do a record right away. And I was like, I played him Lincoln Way Nights, the whole project, I believe. And he was like, yo, this joint is crazy. And then I was like, I'll send it over. And then that's how he got on Lincoln Way Nights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what's your reaction when Ross reaches out then?
Man, I was like, I didn't know how to react because, again, Currency, he hit my phone and was like, yo, Ross is trying to get your phone number. Is it okay if I give him your number? And then I'm like, I don't know what he would want, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could give him my number. And, Currency was like, I'm just making sure that I can pass your number along. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, I appreciate that. And he was like, I don't know what he wants either, but I'm gonna give him your number if it's okay. So I was like, yeah. So Ross called me. We spoke on the phone. He invited me. He was on like the I Am Music tour. I always remember this because it was like him and Lil Wayne. It was called the I Am Music tour. He was on that tour, and he was like, yo, I want you to come down to Texas. I think they were in Dallas. He was like, if you can, say he called me on Tuesday. He was like, I want you to come Thursday. So I was like, all right, bet. I ain't got nothing. He was like, well, I'm gonna send for you. You pull up. I pulled up. I got to Dallas. They pulled up in their tour bus. I came on the tour bus. We chopped it up. He explained to me like how he saw me, or how he first learned about me, saw me and heard my music, and then he offered me, to be a part of MMG or to, for the deal with MMG, and then that's how it happened. Yeah. Was it a no-brainer decision? I mean, I had to think about it, a little bit, just because the type of artist I am, being an independent artist and the type of music I made, I really wanted to make sure it made sense and that he really saw the vision that I had for myself and what I was trying to do with my career moving forward. And, we had a couple conversations, and he assured me that that's, he wanted me to be a part of the team because he wanted my individuality. He wanted, me as an artist to kind of break up what he was doing on the label. You know what I mean? He wanted the label to be not just one thing. He wanted it to be a mixture of everything, you know what I mean, creatively. So that was dope. And I was honored, you know what I'm saying, to be selected as one of those people that he felt could carry on that MMG, name and do right by it. And we did that, you know what I'm saying?
I got you. So how does the song with Nipsey and Ross, Fountain of Youth, come about?
Oh man, that was, Nipsey is the homie and always been, so I met Nipsey for the first time when I used to work at A-Life, a sneaker store in New York City. This is before I was rapping. I think this might have been when he had Bullets Ain't Got No Names.
Oh wow, okay.
And I remember him coming into the shop, and me being a music head, I was like, yo, Nip is, I mess with you. I used to always wear a Seattle Manners hat with the S on it for Stalley, and I think at the time he thought I was like a 60, you know what I'm saying? Because that's their hat, you know what I'm saying? So he used to always show me love, and we got close that way. But I used to give him like A-Life gear and stuff too when he came in the city. So we always had like a friendship, but then him and Ross always had friendship too, and we all just got on the record, you know what I mean? That's really how it came about, all of us being homies, having a dope record, and we put that together for the compilation, you know what I'm saying? So.
Did you guys all get in the studio together for that one?
No, we didn't actually. actually.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because at that time, everybody was so busy, you know what I mean, and doing tours and shows, and Nip on the West Coast, you know, Ross in Miami, I'm in New York. We was kind of, but I believe me and Ross was in the studio together,
Okay.
if I remember right. Yeah, I believe me and Ross was in the studio in Miami together, but Nip had sent his to us.
Yeah, and then y'all went out to LA for the video. That shit was super dope.
Yeah. We went out to LA, so that was dope, man. That was super dope. I actually was on tour with Kendrick Lamar at that time, and I had did a show. I think it was LA Live, one of those spots we did the show at, and I had brought Nip out.
Oh wow!
For that, you know, to do that song, and afterwards, like after the show, we went and got some food, and then we went over to his neighborhood and we shot the video. So,
oh wow,
amazing night, you know what I'm saying? And he gave me the Crenshaw.
Yeah, you and Ross were both rocking.
Yeah,
them,
he gave me the Crenshaw crew neck that I had, and he was like, "Bro, you like the first person to actually put it on," because he had him in his trunk, and he was like, "Yo, I'm starting this new thing. I'm repping the hood. I'm trying to put my, you know, my town on, yada yada yada." And he was just kind of giving me the, you know, the rundown on the meaning behind it and all that. And I was like, I had an outfit on, but I'm like, give it to me. I'm putting it on right now. He was like, for real? I was like, yeah, like, what you think? Like, let's go, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope as well, you know what I'm saying? So I can say that I was kind of one of the first, you know, rappers to actually be able to wear that and put it in a video.
No, that's super
besides
dope.
him and his crew.
Yeah. And away from the music, like, what type of person was Nip?
Nip, man, amazing person, bro. Like, the most stand-up, like, humblest, respectful individual you could, you know, possibly meet. Like, when we would talk, you know, we would rarely talk about music. It was like, how's your family? How's the kids? How's life? You know what I mean? How you feeling? You know, things like that. So it was a real friendship, and that's what everybody over there, you know, from Jay Stone to Sam to BH, all those guys, you know, just real stand-up good guys, man. But Nip, man, incredible person, incredible father. Yeah. Man, just that you know, just reflecting and speaking on him, it always kind of like gets me sentimental just because of how solid he was and how much more he had to give us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, it was a super sad day that he passed.
Super sad day.
Yeah. Super.
Like, it still don't feel real sometimes. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do you guys have any unreleased music together?
Nah, we actually put out all the music that we had, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, what's funny is we have a record that was on the Ohio album, my first debut album that came out on Atlantic. Yeah. It's called What It Be Like. Mm-hmm. And we used to always speak, and he used to always be like, yo, that's one of my favorite records that I've ever done. And we always talked about doing like a part 2 or like a second version of that record every time we talked, or every time that was always brought up, but we, you know, obviously didn't get a chance to do that, so unfortunate, you know. But those 2 records, or the music that we do have that's out, classics.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone, you know what I'm saying? So
I know fans always ask, why wasn't he in the video for What It Be Like?
Oh yeah, you know, they do, and he had some stuff going on. I'll just say that, you know what I'm saying. So, but I was out there in LA, and we were shooting a video, and I just kept it, you know what I'm saying, because of, but I got that's all I said. Yeah.
No, you good. Yeah. Long live Nip.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
man,
long live Nip though. But it wasn't no weird reason, but it was just he had some personal stuff that he had, you know what I mean.
Understood. So 10 Jesus Pieces.
Yes.
Did you and Ross get together for this one, man,
yes,
in the studio?
We did. Yes. We was in the studio. He was working on his album. He had that record, and we worked on that down in Miami as well, you know what I mean? And that record is another classic record.
Yeah, that's a monster.
Yeah, that's a monster record. Shot the video for that down in Miami as well. Man, just, I mean, it's been some incredible music made, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's one of those records, and that's a verse again that I think a lot of people know Stalley for, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there might have been a lot of fans who didn't know who Stalley was, or maybe their first time hearing Stalley because they were Ross fans or just might not have been in tune. So for them first time hearing me on his album with that verse, it won a lot of people over. I still have fans to this day from that verse.
Oh, absolutely. What'd you think of the beat when he first played it?
I was like, here go Ross again, finding these crazy soulful beats, man. Like, I mean, we all know his ear is, next to mine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He does have an incredible ear for beats. But when I first heard that, it just put me in that zone. You know what I mean? And that's what I heard. And when he told me the concept of that record, I was like, I got it. You know what I mean? And me being Muslim, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna wear a Jesus piece, so I had to flip it in a way that was unique to me and how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, Big did it the best. Yeah, whatever. So.
Yeah. Nah, super dope. Like you said, classic record for sure. Yeah. Speaking for your ear for beats, man, how'd you link up with the Block Beataz?
Man,
I feel like they're some of the most underrated producer group of all time.
Of all time. Like, man, I heard them, the blogs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I don't know who, somebody brought me their tape. Or brought me their music. I just can't remember who. So sorry if I can't remember who, actually introduced me to their sound and to the Block Beataz, but whoever did, thank you. And but just through the blogs, hearing them and just getting with CP and Kunta and those guys, man, and Bossman, like, it was just something that was similar to what I was already doing and trying to do. Like, just they had the heavy 808, it was slumping, but they were crazy with just finding different unique samples and flipping different sounds. Like, incredible, bro. Yeah. And I was just like, I got to get with these dudes. And then we started working on Savage Journey to the American Dream, and the rest is history with that.
Yeah, I feel like it was a perfect mesh for you guys to work together.
Yeah, and I feel like they almost elevated, like, I don't know if it was the drums they were using or the sounds they were sampling, like I was saying, but I just feel like it was kind of like an elevation, you know what I mean, to the sound, what they were bringing.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Swangin' record with Scarface, the legend.
Yes.
How did that whole song come about then?
Man, so Swangin', they actually, again, shout out to the Block Beataz, they actually brought me that beat. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Well, not funny, but I was recording upstate New York in this like crazy house, like, like this, and they were up there with me. And for a few days, so the whole process, we was up there for maybe 3 months, but I was in and out of the house, excuse me, so much because of doing shows and traveling that it was hard sometimes to lock in, like as far creatively, because it was like, I'm here for 2 days, then I'm leaving for 4 days, and I'm back, whatever. So he played me that record, CP played me this record. I was about to leave and go do something like in the city. And he was like, before you leave, I got a record I want to play for you. And he played that record for me, and I left and was gone for probably 7 hours. And the whole time, I wrote that song in my head. Really? Like, because I'm like, that beat is crazy. Like, so soon as when I got back, recorded it, done. And then I hit Scarface. I need you on this. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Scarface. I went down to Houston, got in the studio with him. We played the record. He sat there and wrote it right on the spot. And it was after a show too. I was performing down there. I brought him out at the show. Then after the show, we went to the studio and he recorded his verse. And Face is so ill because he was giving us a history lesson on swangers and the whole car culture, because car culture is obviously different in Ohio. We have a heavy car culture in Ohio, but it's different from Houston. So in Texas in general, but he was giving us the whole history about it, like how people get killed over it, how people bag women over it, whatever it is. And as he was telling us the stories, he was putting it all in his verse.
Oh, wow.
And it was incredible. I was like, yo, he was just saying this. Then he go in the studio, rap a couple bars, then he come back out. Oh, by the way, and this happened, and they got fat head Ricks, and da-da-da-da, and this is, and then he go in there and rap, and he'll say that. Like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? So, amazing and a classic record. Again, another life-changing record, you know what I mean? Doing a record with Scarface. Bucket list.
And then on top of that, you get to go to your hometown, bring Scarface there for the music video.
Yeah, then we go to Massillon, Ohio, and shoot the music video. you know, just being able to bring that type of production and those type of artists to Massillon is just, it was like a proud moment too. You know what I mean? Just because that's what I do it for. It's for those people to see it's possible. You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of times when you in these smaller cities and these areas, you get a lot of doubt. You know what I mean? Or you get a lot of people feeling like they're stuck or that this is it for them. This is all I have. But for them to actually see somebody coming from the same turf that they came from and doing it, that's all I ever want to do is motivate and inspire. You know what I'm saying? And you get the other ones to come behind you, like the Trippies, and you know, hopefully there's a 1,000 million more. You know what I mean? Outside of that. So yeah, again, it's a blessing.
Yeah. How would you describe your time with MMG and Atlantic then overall?
Man, it was life-changing, incredible times. You know what I mean? I learned so much. I grew so much as an artist. People don't understand. You know, I've said this before, but I know a lot of people might have seen me and was like, who's Stalley? Where he come from? You know, they could have been confused, but I put in so much work and so much grind leading up to that moment of Ross calling my phone that it was like, this is what I deserve. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But the opportunity is always appreciated from Ross because he saw the vision. He saw the light that I was shining on the world. He saw what I was trying to do, and he helped me put myself in a position to be able to still be here and doing it independently like I started. You know what I'm saying? But again, I learned so much from being on Atlantic first and foremost because that's a label, you know what I mean? This is a music business. So I learned the business. I learned, you know, how to be a professional and how to be an artist from Ross too. I saw his work ethic and how he approached, you know, creating music and just how he approached his day to day as far as like being an artist. So these are things that I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm from Massillon, Ohio. It's a, you know, a stone in the water or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, just everything is appreciated and it was amazing times. You know, I learned so much, I grew so much, and I got to meet so many people that I'm still have lifetime friendships with now.
Yeah, I always say like one of the big takeaways you can get by going to a major is when you go back independent, you take everything that you learned and you're able to apply it to your own label.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I'm doing now. You know, I have I just did my own label deal, you know what I'm saying? And I have Blue Collar Gang Records and I have a couple artists that I work with. Okay. You know, shout out to, you know, Yada, Gallo, Veda, you know, and many more that we got to come. But just me being able to kind of give them and coach them through these experiences that I went through as well is a blessing too, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you get to kind of show people the wrongs, the rights, the ins, the outs, and the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah. What inspires you today to keep creating? Here you are, 20 years later since you first started, right?
Basically, almost. We almost 20 years. That's crazy to think, you know what I mean? But what inspires me is family, you know, is to make sure that I'm providing for my children and for my family, and to also to continue to inspire and to continue to put myself in a position to help other people. I think that's one of the most important things that I've grown into as of late is that I want to make sure that I, you know, can give people a platform and a voice. You know, I want to be the voice for the voiceless. I'm from a small town, 30,000 people, blue collar, you know what I mean? If I would have never went to New York, I probably wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But I want to make sure that those people that are in the Massillon Ohios all across the world, they have a voice. And it's much different now because we have social media. So click of a button, you can be heard anywhere. You can be in Germany, you know what I'm saying? Just by uploading a video. So that's dope. But I want to be able to help. And that's what inspires me these days. You know what I mean? It keeps me going.
I got you. So let's talk about this new single, Scared Money with Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Man, tell us the story.
Man, so KD, that's the homie, you know, first and foremost, and we speak often, you know, we speak almost every day, and during the off season, a lot of people know that KD is a music head, you know what I mean, and a lot of people, we've all heard that, you know, he raps or he makes beats or does both and things like that. So He's just somebody who's always just in tune to the music, in tune with the culture, and working on music. So in the off season, I was working. He was in his home studio working. He was like, "Yo, send me something to get on." You know what I mean? And at first, I'm like, "What I'm gonna send you?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I kind of just was confused because I didn't know where he was at creatively at the time. But then another homie, a mutual friend of ours, my man Trey Edwards, he played me some of the music that KD was working on. I heard it. I was like, "Oh, okay, I hear his vibe. I see where he's at creatively." I got a record for him, so I sent him Scared Money. He jumped right on it, sent it right back. You know what I mean? Like right back, maybe like the next day. I know it wasn't longer than 2 days, and I'm like, yo, so I turned it on and I listened. I'm like, hold up, this is actually hard. Like,
I think that was everyone's reaction when they heard his verse.
I had the reaction y'all had, trust me, you know what I mean? I heard it, I'm like, man, he going crazy. So I'm like, yeah, we definitely got to put this out, you know what I'm saying? And he was with it too, and it was kind of his idea to, you know, even shoot the video, you know, too. Like, just to have him being able to be willing to shoot the music video was dope as well, you know what I mean? Because I think that kind of like pushed it over and let people see him in the light of, you know, I can really get on this mic and rap, you know what I mean? I can really be an artist. And I was just so happy for him, you know what I mean? Because I wanted people to see that we are more than just one thing, you know what I'm saying? We can do anything we want, you know what I mean? We don't have to be tied to one thing. Just because he's a Hall of Fame NBA MVP, championship, finals MVP, he can rap too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like if I'm a rapper and I want to act or whatever, I can do it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best motivation that you can give, and he could give to his fans and to other athletes in every sport. You know what I mean? Is do what you want to do, bro.
And did you anticipate this type of reaction and feedback from the fans when you put this out? Like, did you see this coming?
I mean, I kind of felt there would be like some shock value, you know, because it's KD, you know what I mean? Like I said, as soon as when he take his sneakers off, he walking into the Hall of Fame. So him rapping is definitely some shock value, but the amount of positivity the response has gotten was definitely a little shocking because, you know, we live in a world of haters, you know what I'm saying?
Haters and trolls.
There gonna be people under this comment hating, you know, I mean, under this video hating. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But I was definitely very happy because it's a dope record. And that's what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't want us to just get on a beat and rap. You know what I mean? We could have just got on the beat and just rapped some bars, but I wanted to make sure that it was a record. It had it's a hook, a dope beat, dope lyrics, 2 verses, a video, because this is a song that has replay value, that you can watch the video over and over, you can play the record over and over, and that's what we accomplished, and that's what I wanted to accomplish. Yeah. So.
And what's KD's reaction been since the song's been
out? I think he's happy with it.
Yeah.
I think he's loving it, you know what I'm saying? I think that, I can't speak for him, but I can say that I think that he's appreciative of the response that it's been getting.
Do you think that will motivate him to release even more music in the future then?
Hopefully, but I don't know. Again, I can't speak for him, but hopefully it does, and I would love to hear more raps from KD for sure.
I got you. Is there a new album in the works?
Yes. You
didn't drop one last year. So.
No, a new album is on the way. It's called Peerless.
Okay.
I don't have an official date right now, but I'm still working on, just putting it all together. But yeah, it's coming soon.
What type of vibes should we expect to hear on there?
A lot of heat. A lot of, I mean, it's elevation. It's elevation, you know what I mean? It's intelligent trunk music in 2024. You know what I mean? Beats, rhymes, and life. Shout out to Tribe Called Quest, but that's exactly what it is. It's me telling my story and keeping people up to date on what I got going on and what I've been up to. And I got a couple records with some good friends of mine, you know what I mean? So it's a special album though. I will say that it's a special album, and it's gonna be well worth the wait.
Can you reveal any of those special friends on there?
I can't right now,
Okay.
but I want to keep it a surprise. But KD was one,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So it's some more.
Gotcha.
And they're rappers, so.
Okay. Now, what about producer-wise, who you've been working with for this project?
Producer-wise on this, I kind of got some of the usual suspects. I got Black Diamond, Black Metaphor. Who else do I have on here? Bam, who produced Scared Money.
Okay.
Mad Keys. So, you know, it's mainly the guys that I've worked with, you know what I mean, in these past few years, you know what I mean? A lot of like the blue collar guys, producers, and a couple that aren't, but yeah, it's mainly the usual suspects.
Okay. And what's your thoughts on the music scene in Ohio right now today?
Man, you know, I just did a stage at South by Southwest, and we had a lot of artists from Ohio, mainly like the Cincinnati area, and Ohio got some heat, bro.
Absolutely, yeah.
It got a lot of heat. Like, it's a lot of talent, eclectic. You know what I mean? Like and they're really coming with their own sound and their unique voice. So I'm happy and proud of the Ohio sound and the scene right now. And I just hope that the world gets to see more of it, and more artists just keep on, you know, putting out quality music.
Yeah, understood.
But we already have, you know, the ones that is doing great. Like I said, Trippie, you got Doughboy, you got MGK. Who else am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing others, but
yeah, there's so many different sounds coming out of Ohio right now.
All those people I just named
have
are different sounds.
Yeah, exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Chip the Ripper, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Like, it's so many different sounds and so many, and that's what makes Ohio ill, because you can be on one side of Ohio, or you can be on one side of the street and go a couple blocks down and somebody is totally different. You know, even me growing up, like a car pass by playing SIBO, then a car passed by playing Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that car E40, then the next car Too Short. Like, you know, the next car Wu-Tang. So that's what's ill, and I think that you hear it in the voices of the artists that come out of Ohio too.
Yeah. Outside of music, what are you working on? What else are you working on right now?
Blue Collar Gang,
Okay.
the merch. Make sure y'all get it. BlueCollarGang.co. You know,
Okay.
shameless plug. But working on, you know, Blue Collar Gang, and then the artists that I mentioned. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them together and start pushing out some of this dope music that we've been sitting on.
Yeah. Can you share some advice for the youth coming up right now today?
Man, I know people always say it, but be yourself, be humble, stay creative, and stay focused, you know, and block out the noise, you know what I'm saying? I know it's hard. We in the social media age, like you said, it's trolls and commenters all the time, but just kind of like peel your ears back, put your head down and work towards that goal, and don't let nothing deter you. And again, be yourself, you know what I'm saying? Be as creative as you can possibly be by being yourself.
Nah, wise words right there, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Stalley, you got any shout outs you'd like to give before you wrap it up?
Man, shout out to you, Off the Porch. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Shout out to everybody who supports me, everybody watching this, taking their time to actually watch this. I love y'all to death. Make sure y'all stay tuned, follow me on all platforms, and make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTubes and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here, there's a lot of music coming out. We out.
The money that was made couldn't be scared money. I had no one to put up the bread for me. It's hot on the block, still milking chain.